Life always has its ups and downs. We don't always live on the bright side. We also experience the dark side, the failure, the stress, pressure, anxiety, and all of the things that force us to grow and learn something. However, some people might not be really good on handling those things in life. This family was a loving family, consisting of a couple and their 2 children, Abbasasha the father, Haririani the mother, the older sister Dea Hairunisa, and the second child, Dhio Daffa. Both of them were loved by the family, received good education, and the older sister worked at Bank Jateng as a teller service staff. She had worked at the bank for 3 years. The father, Abbas, had retired from one of the divisions in Ministry of Finance, while the mother, Haririani, was a housewife. The other family members stated that Dhio had been heavily spoiled. He was known as a good and kind child, but all of the good characters suddenly disappeared following his high school graduation. He neither pursued university degree nor sought unemployment. The changes continued and even getting worse after he had an accident that needed an intensive medical care. Following this, he became increasingly dishonest and manipulative, frequently demanding large sums of money from his parents. The statement was said by his paternal uncle, Sukocho. His sister, Dea, decided not to renew her employment contract at the bank. She was taking a break after working for 3 years. The parents knew it and just allowed her to do it. Dhio envied her sister because it looked like she was favored by their parents and he was neglected. Since both were unemployed, Dhio thought that he was forced to get a job and took responsibility of all of his family. Dhio never got a job, even though he was capable of doing it. He just requested money from his parents using various excuses. He had ever asked for money for unspecific cause. He claimed he needed 32 million rupiahs, approximately $1,905 every month. However, he lied. The money was not for causes, it was for his lifestyle. Furthermore, he convinced his parents to invest in a parking space expansion in Yogyakarta. Starting from 2021, the entire amount of money was 400 million rupiahs, approximately $23,814. To convincing his parents to maintain the illusion, he even paid the fake dividends using their own money. Classic Ponzi scheme. The investment profits was supposedly collected every month, as Dhio had stated himself. To maintain this facade, he paid them fake dividends from January to March 2022. But in May, he stopped. His parents started to ask about it. With his father newly retired and ailing, and his sister recently unemployed, the family's survival depended on that money. At this point, Dhio felt pressured. Since all of the things was a lie, the money his parents gave him had run out. But the action he took to face the pressure his family gave him was unbelievable. On 15 November 2022, Dhio began researching on how to eliminate his family. According to Detik.com, he browsed it at 9 p.m. local time. After days of research, he decided to do it by poisoning his family with the chemicals A. On 17 November, he ordered the chemicals on online store. On 19 November, he received the package. Rather than act immediately, he hid the chemicals in his car, waiting for the right moment. On 23 November, Dhio made his first move. He put the poison to the drink called as Favoured, which was consumed by his family. But it failed. The effect of the chemicals was strong but not life-threatening. The attempt failed to be lethal. Even though the victims suffered from severe nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea and requiring hospitalization, they ultimately survived. Unfortunately, he did not give up. Because the first attempt failed, according to CNN Indonesia, he poured the chemicals 4 times. The first time on 17 November, the second times on 24 November, the third and fourth times were on 25 November 2022. He picked up the packages at the shipping office himself and then delivered it to his home. This time, he used different type of chemicals, which was cyanide. He was inspired by a viral case high school murder Calvin and Jessica Wangso. The final attempt took place on 28 November 2022 in the morning, precisely at 7. His mother made a coffee for his father and 3 cups of tea for the rest of them. When Dhio saw no one's around, he poured 2 teaspoons of chemicals into each cup. No need to wait for hours. His family drank the beverages only several minutes after he had poured the chemicals. The effect was so fast. They felt intense nausea and started vomiting, which made them rush to the bathroom in their own bedrooms. The throat felt burned due to the corrosive nature of the chemicals. Dhio did nothing while his family suffered from the effect of the chemicals he had poured. He just watched them suffering. After making sure everything was a success, Dhio called the house helper that worked for his family and also called his maternal uncle. They evacuated the victims and rushed them to the hospital. After the doctor examined all of the family members, Dhio received a statement that his family members had died. Suspicion arose almost immediately when Dhio refused to allow an autopsy, claiming it was merely food poisoning and insisting on an immediate burial. But his paternal uncle, Sukocho, urged the authorities to run the autopsy even though Dhio refused it. The police suspicion was not only because Dhio refused the autopsy, but his response to the incident was abnormal. He seemed too calm and doesn't seem too sad, like a human being that just lost all of his family. The post-mortem results reviewed Dhio's statement of food poisoning. The autopsy report declared that the organs turned to cherry red color, which was abnormal. Furthermore, severe corrosive burns stretching from the throat to the stomach highlighted the high dosage of chemicals consumed. Forensic teams confirmed these findings by detecting traces of cyanide within the victims' stomachs. Dhio reviews the process of the autopsy, the calm response of Dhio when he lost all of his family members, and also he was the only one person in the family that has no symptoms of food poisoning, even though he said he also drank the tea his mother made that morning. The police launched crime scene investigation, and they discovered if Dhio had washed the cups and spoons to erase the evidence while waiting for his uncle to arrive. However, the investigators successfully performed swab tests on the cutlery and retrieved liquid residue from the kitchen sink. They also collected forensic samples of vomit from the bathrooms as additional evidence. The smoking gun was discovered inside Dhio's car, the bottles that once held the poison. Upon confiscating his phone, the authorities found that his browser history contained a digital trail of his lethal research and chemical purchase history. The arrest occurred less than 24 hours after the incident. Initially treated as a witness, Dhio's story fell apart when the investigators found the chemical bottles in his car and cyanide residue in the kitchen sink. Police invited him to the station for further questioning on Tuesday morning, 29 November 2022. Under the weight of the forensic evidence, Dhio finally confessed to the murders. His status was immediately upgraded to suspect, and he was placed in custody to face charges of premeditated murder. The psychological evaluation revealed that Dhio was sane and fully conscious of his actions. Psychologists described him as a highly manipulative individual with low empathy. His quiet demeanor masked a deep-seated resentment toward his family, whom he felt favored his sister. The legal process for Dhio Daffa lasted approximately 6 months. His trial began at Mungkit District Court on 2 March 2023, and on 8 June 2023, the panel of judges delivered the final verdict: life imprisonment. The court found him guilty of premeditated murder under Article 340 of Indonesian Criminal Code, marking the end of the most chilling domestic crimes in a recent history.